You gotta love a special box. Something about that makes a release feel cool.
Cool gray.
Pun intended. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these bad boys right here. This, my friends, is the Air Jordan 3 in the cool gray colorway. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. So this video is brought to you guys by the good folks over at SoleSavy. What is SoleSavy, might you ask? Great question. SoleSavy is a great community full of actual sneakerheads. I know, it sounds weird, but there are some left. And one of the best things about SoleSavy is that they do have sneaker monitors that actually monitor all of the retail sites. So whether it's a new drop, like something like this, or maybe a restock on something that already released, you can get push notifications letting you know that it's back in stock in your size. It's quickly added to cart, no questions asked, other than if you wanted to buy it now. You know, that's the only question. Not only that, but they also have a great community full of like-minded individuals, and all of these people are sneakerheads buying sneakers to wear, not to flip. Resell, it's not a thing in that place. So if somebody gets something that you like and they don't anymore, they can probably oop it to you. They can sell it to you for retail. Maybe you want to do a trade, whatever it is. It's an actual community. They're out there trying to help each other out, you know, community. So if everything that I just said sounds great and sounds like something that you're interested in, we are going to have a link down below in the description box where it'll send you over to SoleSavy.com and you can read more about it. And with that being said, man, these smell great. So cool gray was an interesting take on the brand. This is like right after the brand became a brand. Brand Jordan. Not Jordan Brand like they're known as now, but originally it was Brand Jordan. Why? I don't know. They just like to be different. But back then, they did the retro thing for the second time around. The first time was in his first retirement in 1994. Didn't work. They all flopped. The ones, the twos, and the threes, all discounted. Crazy now. Fast forward to my high school years in 99, 2000, then 2001. Cool gray was put on the Air Jordan 11. Sacrilegious almost at that time. The Jordan 11 was like the crowning achievement of the brand. And so when they put out the retros plus a new colorway, it was one thing to do the Space Jam, but the cool gray, people did not know if they liked it or not. That's how crazy that shit was. Turns out it was fire, because then they released the cool gray 9s. Those were a hit. Cool gray 4s, which I'm actually wearing right now. And then the fourth installment of the cool gray lineage, these right here. Are they the best ones though? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's up for debate. I actually have a really soft spot, and the Jordan 9 is not even my favorite Jordan, but I have a soft spot for all three of the original cool gray models, the 11, the 9, and the 4. I think that those are the best. This was the first one where they implemented color into it. That was the thing. Like when we saw these at first, some people were like, why is there orange and red? Why is this why? You know? And so yeah, it was just different. The cool gray was different too. It was a different shade. It was a lot lighter. These ones right here are quite interesting because they switch things up quite a bit, you know what I mean? And on top of that, we got a left and right shoe factory thing going on once again. They're made really well. So there's two different things when you talk about a sneaker, right? There's quality, which are the materials, and then there's craftsmanship, which is the build of things, like the way that they manufacture them, the way they put them together. A lot of times when we're talking about Jordan Brand, it's the craftsmanship that we're on. They're just not made right sometimes. They're made really quickly. If you're talking about the wonky Jordan 4 Fire Red, that was craftsmanship. That was not a material issue, it was craftsmanship. And then the pink thing with the Carmines that everybody's tripping out about and stuff, right? That is a craftsmanship issue. They use some shitty ass paint and some of them turned pink. It's not bleeding, it was paint. So what we have here is great craftsmanship and great quality, but there's still variations between the materials, which I think is super weird. This left pair right here is heavily tumbled on the upper, super crazy, super nice on top of that. This one looks more like the original where it's like smooth, like a smooth nubuck. It's both nubuck, this one's just textured. Reminds me of the Smurf 3s. I can't remember what they were called. I think it was powder blues. So I think that the materials are really dope. I just think that, like, why aren't my pairs matching?
It's like a truck driver's face.
What?
You haven't seen the pictures of what like truck drivers look like?
Is it because like half of their face is in the sun?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a left arm, right arm type thing, unless you have a sunroof and then it's your shoulder. I remember when that happened, that sucked. Another difference between this release and the original is the color of the gray is a little bit darker on these guys. Like these overall just feel darker. I do have a friend's pair right here. You guys are gonna and scream when you see these, man. Look at this. These joints are obliterated, man. Like this is how you love your man, you wear the hell out of this. But yeah, the gray at first I thought it was just like faded, but then I was looking at original images and everything, and no, like it's really is just like the cool gray on the original is lighter and the cool gray on this is a little bit darker. Now, some things that they did really well with these guys is the overall shape and the padding and all of that stuff. So we have the toe box right here that is just like the other previous or more recent threes, the UNC joints, the citrus joints, the Chicago ones that were all red, the blue ones. They all have the same shaped toe right here. So this is like really short. It's thinner and everything. You can see where the rand right here, where it meets this, it's like really thick, right? The stack height versus that guy, it's real thin, it's tapered. It looks more like the original. It looks fantastic. So they did a great job on the shape of this shoe. The tongues right here, the new ones are super cool, man. I love these. Like these guys right here, it's like a big fat puffy tongue. It's got a weird shape to it. The embroidery is one of those things that I keep telling you guys is like just way better nowadays than it used to be. And this is a clear-cut example of that. You got the booty crack on this guy right there. This one's just super clean, super flat, perfect.
You win. Perfect.
And then the last thing is the collar lining, the padding and everything, super thinned out. In the new version, it feels awesome around your foot. Doesn't feel like your ankles, or in my case, my cankles. They're not sweating for days in these. I get some airflow in there. Another little small difference is just the little, you know, eye stay area in the collar where there are the perforations. On the last version, the perforations were damn near non-existent, like little tiny pinholes. These guys are actually perforated and it looks a lot cleaner. Same thing with the tongue. This has good perforations. The tongue on the other one, it looks like he like went with a tack and just kind of like was like, you know, let's poke some holes in these, try to make them breathable. If that didn't work. Now, as far as the tech specs are concerned, on an Air Jordan 3, we have a polyurethane midsole with an encapsulated 4-foot air unit, and then you have a visible one in the heel. I did 2 little shots of B-roll, one so that you can see that they did color the interior of the air unit like they did in the original, so it's that kind of like burnt orange kind of look. But I also did that other one where I have that cool little strobing backlight in the back. Looks like LA Gears, man. The insole is a basic foam insole, and during the original retro run of these, this time frame, I actually don't remember because I was broke as so I couldn't afford stuff like this. This is right when my first kid was born. So yeah, so I didn't have any of these, so I didn't know what the insoles were. I was able to pull these out a little bit, and it is just a cheap foam insole. So there was no polyurethane in this version of the retro, so we don't have that here either. And also that's why we don't see Nike Air branding. This was not an original colorway, so that was back in the day when brand Jordan was new. That's how they differentiated between an original colorway or a retro and a new colorway, which they used to call like Retro Plus. They would also have lifestyle versions where there was coinciding apparel. I don't know if this was an LS or not. I don't remember. I know that like the burgundy 5s, those were fire. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they fit true to size, so that's what I would recommend. They're going to be available at most Jordan brand retailers, including Phenom and Phenom Global. So if you were interested, I'll leave a link down below in the description box to Phenom, and if you're in the Elk Grove or Sacramento area, make sure that you hit them up, follow them on social. That way you can actually like see when they're going to be doing the raffles. A lot of them are in store, so make sure that you're following and supporting if you're local, and you can do it that way.
I am gonna nerd out a little bit.
Okay.
But I was super excited when Randy's shoe showed up.
Because of how beat they are?
Not only that, but because you guys always talk about paint cracking, and I'll see that on your shoes, but even when he beats up his shoes, they're not obliterated. It'll be like minor cracking. And so to actually
there's a few pairs that I've had that have been like beat, but it's only when like I truly like like my last pair was a pair of 3s. It was the blacks.
But even then, they're all solid black.
So it's hard to see it.
Yeah, so to see like all these parts really are painted on. It's not a solid white that's then placed with a solid gray.
No, so that cream color you see poking out, that's not yellowing. That's the polyurethane, you know, and it's really cool. The polyurethane is what will crumble. So if you're looking at vintage shoes, anything that starts from 95 onward as far as the Jordan line goes, so from the 11 up, those are usually made with Phylon, which is a different foam compound. It's not as porous. There are a few within the later lines, like the 16s and the 17s, where those will crumble on you, but it's for different reasons. The 16s because the pillars are PU, and then the 17s is because there's a gigantic plastic thing here, and plastic just doesn't age really good, you know what I mean? Like some of my older shoes, like my team shoes and stuff, they have a carbon fiber shank, but they have this weird plastic resin coating over it, and the resin coating just falls apart. Like it just doesn't last.
I just think it's weird because I feel like shoes have come such a long way. Like, why can't they mix the color into it completely? Is it a price thing?
For the PU, I couldn't tell you. I know that that's how they do rubber.
Yeah.
So actually that's a good example is the Carmine 6, right? So like I did put it on there purposefully where there was a little splotch right here next to the Jumpman. That's a little factory flaw or whatever, because the rubber that they use primarily when they're doing translucent is translucent, and then they'll tint with some solid and stuff. So it's not technically solid rubber, even though you see it's a little of both. It's actually translucent rubber with a little thin layer of a real rubber or like a solid rubber over it.
Okay.
And so what that was a little blemish. And so they had to paint and cover up where there might have been either a scratch or a little bit of clear still poking through. And it's completely normal. It's, you know, I get that on lots of shoes, not just from Jordan Brand. It was surprising seeing it on a shoe like that, but also knowing that there are now manufacturing flaws with the Run, like it's not that surprising. So the original 11s were really interesting. Like when you look at a new 11, you can clearly see like distinctively herringbone pots. And
Yes.
they look like that they're solid rubber, which they're not. And they are, but they're not. It's clear rubber with a little extra piece of solid, right?
So weird.
It is. The original, same thing with the original Foamposite, super crazy. It's clear rubber and then only the grooves were solid rubber. So like you'd be able to poke or see through that herringbone and see directly like red clear rubber. It was super trippy. It's a weird way to manufacture things, but that's how you get things that look like it's both. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's a mixture of solid and clear. It's like, no, it's actually clear rubber is the base. And then they tint over the clear, like as they put it in the molding trays with some little solid pellets. It's just a weird way to do things.
The more you know.
Only if you really want to, because it's some I'll admit, like it's some weird nerdy, you know? But anyways, that pretty much takes care of it for these guys. Again, this is the Air Jordan 3 Cool Gray. It's the first time they've been back since the first time we saw them, which was back in 06. So it's pretty cool that they are back. I love the Cool Gray Jordans, and these are no exception. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Let us know what you think about them down below in the comment section. And with that being said, hope that y'all have a good one. The tongue is another thing. Damn it, why do I do that? Put things down, you know what I mean? What a dumbass.
You can just restart.
I guess. But then it wouldn't make for great extra clips and stuff for you to make fun of me with.
I'll do that anyways.
That's what I'm saying. You're welcome.
No, you're welcome.